As gun violence has exploded in the United States, Fox News decided to kill two birds with one stone with their disinformation campaigns by bringing on a former NYPD detective who's retired now. His name's Pat Brosnan, to share his theory on why gun violence is up. Let's hear what he has to say.
In a rational world where there's adherence to the rule of law and respect for law enforcement, say pre the summer of love of 2020, I think there would be more nuanced response in terms of opening a shooting, an active shooting right next door to where there's a load of armed professional shooters under law enforcement. But the rules have changed. You know, crimes are no longer illegal. There's no longer enforcement of lots of laws, and there's an empowerment of these active shooters. And you know, Harris, this is a time that I wish I was wrong with my prediction, which I mentioned to anybody who'd listen, that once COVID starts to lift, these cowardly shooters will come out exactly in tandem with the number of vaccinations. You can be sure they probably got vaccinated. They were just scared to come out. And they're coming back, and you see the numbers don't lie. The shootings are up dramatically.
He's just connected the increase in gun violence in the country to people getting vaccinated, which is obviously false, insanely irresponsible. Cenk, I'm gonna let you take that part of the conversation, but before I toss it to you, I do wanna mention one thing real quick. Because in the beginning, he says, there's no enforcement of a lot of laws. There's no enforcement of a lot of laws. That seems like law enforcement isn't doing its job. So a retired NYPD detective admits that cops aren't doing their job in enforcing the law. Okay, cool, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, the Republicans and Fox News, they're like, oh, everybody should have guns. Guns are the thing that kill people. Then every study shows the more guns there are, the more gun deaths there are. Both homicides, mass shootings, and by the way, suicides. Okay, so, but he says, no, that's not the reason why. The reason why is vaccinations. I mean, look, that's why if you have family members that watch Fox News, get them mental health counseling. Like, oh, I bet they were vaccinated. Why would you? What would be the basis of that?
Right.
Like, where do you have any information that the shooters are more heavily vaccinated? Of course, that's insane. Shooters that, and this guy I think also killed himself, right? Are not likely to be concerned about getting coronavirus. And so those two things are not at all logically connected, but right-wingers are, generally speaking, morons. So they just are looking to do propaganda no matter what. Oh, I'm a former cop, and you know what? I think there's no law enforcement anymore. Well, whose fault is that? Oh, I don't know. I do probably liberals. Okay, and God, we told you that if there was more guns, there'd be more shootings, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, it's probably because of the vaccinations. And then people watch Fox News and go, nailed it. And then I do want to give him credit though for getting one thing right. He said there's been empowerment of active shooters. That's true, by Republicans. Oh yeah, of course, man, you should have more guns. And then if the active shooter has to go, you have a gun and everybody shoots guns. Does anybody in this country think that the Republicans are not pro-guns? Nobody thinks that, right? Obviously everybody agrees. We can't, federal background checks, I've said this a billion times, 97% approval. Everybody, in this case, the Republican voters are not at all guilty. Even the Republican voters, over 90% of them say, of course, federal background checks. We want to know if it's a criminal that's getting the gun or not. And Republican politicians who get money from the NRA go, no, I don't give a damn what my voters want, what anybody wants. No, I don't. You think you live in a democracy? No, I'm a bootlicker for the NRA and they got to make money off of gun sales. So I'm going to do whatever the hell they want. And what is that? It's empowering active shooters. We can't even get people on the terrorist watch list to not have guns because the Republicans think terrorists should have guns. What is that? It is empowering active shooters. So thank you for being honest about how much Republicans and right-wingers encourage massacres in America. #facts.
And you know, this is an indictment of our intelligence communities who have tried to convince us that in an effort to save us from any type of threat, in an effort to maintain national security, they need to indiscriminately spy on Americans and do all this surveillance on us. But in the case of the San Jose shooting, there's indication that the shooter was talking pretty openly about killing his coworkers. So It's weird that like this keeps coming up over and over again, and somehow our intelligence community misses it. And I should also note that the shooting took place in San Jose near the county sheriff's office. I mean,
yeah, I mean, according to the right wing, that's loads and loads of good guys with guns.
Lots of good guys with guns. What happened?
Huh, funny. Last word goes to one of our members, tyt.com/join to be part of the show. Kid tested, Politburo approved, writes in. Holy crap, guys, I just realized that ice cream sales have spiked just as mass shootings have as well. You can be sure that all of these shooters went and got their ice cream before they committed a massacre. That's pretty good, man. The Fox News is probably calling you right now as we speak. Oh, we got to get you on there, man. It's not the guns, right? It's the ice cream cones? Ice cream cones it is. Let's go say it on air. Okay, yes, if you believe in totally unregulated guns, which is exactly what Republicans and right-wingers and Fox News believes, then you are actively promoting massacres in this country. And if one of your family members got killed in there, look, it's politics. They're not actually doing the shooting, and I don't want you to ever do anything physical, okay? But take your understandable frustration at the injustice and use it politically to make a difference. Vote out the bastards. And then, by the way, if you voted in a Democrat and that Democrat sits on his hands and does nothing, then vote out that bastard. Until you get somebody who says, no, I'm gonna pass the law. We're gonna get federal background checks and all these other things that we need. Just keep on voting them out, because I can't. Everything else is total, utter nonsense, including Joe Biden's urging of Congress to act and his goddamn studies of gun. So we're gonna study gun violence like we need to study it. It's absurd. None of these politicians ever want to do anything about it. Cowards, all of them. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.